Yes! Hello, everybody! Hello. Yeah, welcome to the Gaz Williams show kind of thing. This is called Adventures in Eurorack. And if you're new to the show, well, firstly, welcome. I will be ever so grateful for your company. And so will our lovely chat room as well, because we have one of the best chat rooms on the planet. So if you're watching this not live, please consider joining us live. UK time, GMT, 10:30 p.m. So it's a late night show in the UK. But yeah, this is happening every Monday night. And what I'm basically doing is chronicling my journey into Eurorack. And this has really happened during the kind of lockdown phase. And my goodness, has things grown. Whoo, this has gone a bit crazy and I'm enjoying every minute. For many, many years, I held off from this whole kind of modular Eurorack world for a number of reasons. One, that it's extremely expensive. Two, that there's just so many products on the market. It's a bit mind-boggling. I cover a lot of music tech for a living, so I'm constantly working music technology. I just thought it was just a world too much. That it's a world unto itself. And yes, I have been fully drawn into that world, so much so that, getting gas for modules, that kind of thing. And speaking of getting gas for modules, well, as soon as I saw this thing that we're going to look at tonight, as soon as I saw it announced at NAMM 2020 this year, I wanted it. And that was before I had my Eurorack setup, and of course I'm talking about the Doepfer A174-4, or better known as the 3D joystick. And here it is, and my gosh, what a whopper! Look at this thing. It is enormous. Most things in the kind of Eurorack world are kind of small, look how close these knobs are together, so you have a different sense of scale. And then here's this thing here. Fa-doing! No, sorry, that's rude. Fa-doing! Yes, it's called a 3D joystick because not only does it pan around, it also, you can rotate it. And even better, there's a button on the end as well. And of course, as you can imagine, all of these things are you can map them to anywhere you want, patch them out anywhere you want. But it does it in a number of interesting ways. You've got essentially two types of output, and we'll get into this. I've got it set up at the moment, going into Elements, which is just off screen. We don't need to see that really because we're going to be looking at this. But Elements is the one I've got is a clone of the Mutable Instruments Elements, which is a physical modeling synthesizer. Or maybe I should, I'll just change the angle of this so we can see the elements. Okay, there it is. That's a big module. And I have to say, before we go too much further, actually, you can see that I am rocking Arturia rack brutes. And one of the great things about rack brutes is that you can transport them. You can fold them over. You pull out these little feet. And then once these little feet are out, you can lean it over. And then the little feet, in fact, let's just angle that camera down a little bit. And no, the joystick doesn't allow that to happen. So if you're going to use the joystick in a live rig, I think it means having to, in this case, I'd have to take out the yellow module there. If I took out the yellow module, I think it would be okay. But this is something to be aware of, because I think this enormous joystick does have consequences. Another one is, if you've got modules next door to it, you hit, I had this one here, and you hit the controls when it's not even at the full range. And so there's a little bit I've got a few HP gap either side of it to accommodate it, to allow it to have its whole range. Ooh, that was an accidental preview. Whilst we're talking about size. So we like to talk about size here on this channel. This thing, I'm going to draw it out of the rack. look, it's deep as well. Okay. So, bear all of those things in mind. It will take up space, and it needs a deep rack to accommodate it. But if you can do that, then I think what it represents is an extremely interesting device. Now, one of the reasons I've always kind of looked on enviously at the Eurorack world before I'd fully engaged with it was just how much innovation would be going on, and you'd see all these fantastic ideas. In fact, I think that's one of the great things about this platform. It does allow some really radical ideas to make it to market, and we've seen lots and lots of companies come bringing out sort of lots of interesting ideas. But I think it's super cool that this particular thing is actually from Doepfer, which of course Doepfer is the company that started Eurorack back in 1996. So Doepfer, maybe we overlook Doepfer a little bit because they've been around for so long. In fact, if I look around my rack, I've got quite a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, about five or so Doepfer modules. Most people have a few. There's so many. The range is mind-boggling. But this is a new one from them, and maybe the chat room can help me with this. I think they did do a joystick before, but I think this 3D joystick with the button, the rotation, and the regular joystick movement is new. I don't know if the old one was quite so massive. Part of the reason for it being big, I think, though, is that the rotational aspect, and we'll look once I start playing sounds through it, we'll see the rotational aspect of it, especially when you're panning around. It does kind of make sense. It does make sense. It is a really kind of playable device. I should also mention it is center sprung. And there's no way to disable that. I say there's no way to disable that. In the manual, it says, theoretically, you could take the springs off if you wanted it just to be like a loose joystick, a bit like maybe on a VCS3. But also the manual warns that there's no guarantee that it won't shift at all if you just leave it be. Like, you'd want that to have no sprung kind of joystick. It would all be about like leaving it, finding that exact spot and then letting go. Obviously this one springs back, but they're saying that it won't really. So if you do take the springs off, it's not worth it. They don't recommend it. So I find it quite interesting that it is sprung then. So that's part of its performance capabilities. Now, a few things I think before I start playing sounds. Oh, well, actually, let's have a preview sound anyway. I'll explain a little bit what's going on there, and I'm going to build another patch with it once I've explained it, and I'm probably going to use the Dreadbox chromatic modules for that. So what I'll do first is just kind of go through some of the options that you've got on here, because wow, it is it is really interesting, and you'll all see that very, very soon. And I'm kind of interested to get some ideas about what to use it for, because I've not had anything quite so performable other than using the Touche, the Expressive E Touche, which is an amazing thing with modular. And keep your eyes peeled on my channel. I have a video coming out soon about using the Touche with modular, and that is, oh my god, that's amazing. I'm really looking forward to a point where I've got both the Touche and this joystick both set up. I think that's going to be really cool. I mean, I am a kind of instrumentalist first and foremost, so having these kind of physical, tactile, but extremely expressive devices, yeah, that kind of floats my boat. Just going to check in with the chat room. All right, nice to see so many of you checking in. That's superb. Hello, everybody, and hello to the gang. We got a great gang. Here. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. Because of course this is live. If you are watching this later, not live. Come and join us live if it's not too late for you. Okay, where are we? Yes, this thing. Okay. There are lots of sockets on here. I wonder if I should pull these out so you can see. Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay. Right. You've got 11 outputs on here. Now, the first one I'll start with is this one here, which is gate. And the gate output basically is the button. So in the case here, the gate, there's a button on the elements. So really, we're just duplicating that on the stick. I'm using the mallet, which gives us kind of these repetitions. Like kind of weird bouncing ball kind of, I'm not entirely sure, plectrum-y things. It's quite nice because they keep generating off a single gate, well, especially if I max it out here. Yeah, so again, just duplicating what that is. But of course, that being a gate signal, it could be we could use it. Ooh, I'm thinking, no, yeah, we could use it as a kind of, as a start. As a sort of start-stop, start everything, stop. So, having that button there is really interesting. Okay, but anyway, the interesting stuff, though, is we've got 4 quadrants on here, and you've got different outputs, and those become quite interesting. I'm just going to pull these out of the way for now. Let's just get them out of the way. So these 4 quadrants you can tap out in 2 different ways, or both at the same time. But you've got the kind of essentially the quadrant approach or the XYZ approach. So if we take like the x-axis, for instance, usefully you've got LED lights. Oh, these are in the way. Cables. There's a lot of LED lights, which kind of, I'm not sure how well you can see those lighting up. Yeah, you can see them a little bit. But basically, you've got like a signal, the CV strength increases as you push up on the y-axis, but then you've got a inverted output as well. So that means you can have it go into 2 different things. As you increase in one direction, it decreases the other direction, and vice versa. So 2 outputs for the X and the Y, and also the same for the rotation. And also mentioning something here, the rotation is also sprung. Like that's sprung, the rotation springs as well. So everything kind of snaps back to that center point. Which, yeah, there's a definite boingness about it. Right, but just going through these things, it's kind of cool. So that's why we've got 6. We've got, as we can increase, it'll decrease, and in 2 directions. So it makes it much more versatile. Then also what we've got here underneath is offset. And that's kind of cool because this is kind of working on the idea that if it's just sending like out bipolar, if you want it to like control VCAs, for instance, going from nothing to full, then you can use these offsets to add extra voltage to those outputs. So it's not going from 0 to 64, you know, to minus 64 plus 64 or the equivalent. It's going 0 to 128, 127 MIDI. I'm using MIDI terms there, but you know, it's that's the sort of principle. So that's what those offsets are for. Now, but here there's a control called overlap, and that relates to these 4 outputs in the corner here, which are labeled Q1 to 4. Q1, 2, 3, 4. And what happens here, if I turn the overlap all the way off, if I take the joystick into the Q, well, again, these LED lights are not so short. Yeah, you can see that. So you can see that as I take that in there, only Q2 lights, because I'm taking it into Q2, taking it into Q1, only Q1 lights, into Q4, into Q3, meaning that you're only going to send out a CV out of the Q1 output. This is where the overlap comes in. So as you increase the overlap, it kind of makes a sort of a Venn diagram, or whatever you want to call it, of the different nearby sections. So if I was just to turn the overlap up a bit and take this into quadrant 1, let's turn it up more. Yeah, we see the other quadrants lighting up as well, but not as strong. So that's really cool. That means it's uber programmable in a very, very cool way, which for something which is very much about performance, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Right. Let us see, how are we getting on? Girth of the stick is more important than the length. Yes, I was thinking that the conversation may not get, may stray away from, well, where we should be at, which is talking very sensibly about things like this without any innuendo whatsoever. Can it detach for travels is a question. And it is a great question, based on the fact that it doesn't. I don't think it does. I'd love to find out. I had a look for a manual. I saw like what may be the manual. I read everything that was on there. Didn't tell me everything. There is a USB port on the back of this. I'm assuming that's for some firmware updates. But it's a USB out, as though like the type that you'd see on the back of a controller keyboard. So it made me wonder whether you can tap out that USB and have a USB controller as well, which would be pretty epic. Don't know. Couldn't find that out. It's a new product. It's only just come on the market, really. So, not sure. Right. Okay. Let us do something. Right. Okay, so at the moment, yeah, the only thing in this patch that's going on is the Elements. Elements has got a built-in reverb, so the effect we're hearing is the space. Okay, now let's patch a few of these in. So, yeah, I quite fancy using this push-pull idea, really. So on the y-axis, up and down axis, I'm going to put that into my bow. And on the down axis, I'm going to put it into my blow. So in the case of the Elements, it's kind of like a physical modeling. So this is going to mean that as we trigger a sound, get a bit more action. Oh, sorry, I plugged it into the x-axis. Let's try the x-axis instead. Not y-axis, there we go. Okay, now let's do the same thing for the y-axis this time, and I'll have it change. I'm going to have it change some parameters in the resonator part of Elements. So let's have it change the dampening. And, oh, very strong effect, actually, as if it changes the geography. Now, with elements, it kind of creates exciters, like bow, blow, strike. And those exciters are then fed into a resonator that shapes the sound and gives it physical properties, like putting it through a tube or making it through putting it on through a string, through strings or something. So now, I should finish. Let's put a third mapping in, which will be the rotational aspect of it. Hence the name, the 3D joystick. So as it rotates, I'm going to put it into volts per octave. Yeah. Okay, so that's only going to just be the positive output. Rotate. Okay, now just without rotating it, I'll just go through like a lap of it. Oh, it's easy to rotate it. What's going on over here? And I'm bringing it back into the center, pitching it down. Oh, look, if I hold that pitch there. Well, that's good done there. Yeah, so certainly an interesting way of exploring sound. Again, all we're listening to is just the elements with nothing else. All of it, pure elements. Yeah, okay. So I'm a little bit baffled at this point in time about exactly what to use it for. What I thought I'd do tonight is plug it in a really kind of simple way, doing like a pitch bend from left to right and maybe filter on the up and down, or we'll see. And then just messing around with it in a quite a simple way, but I'm imagining it is more for the more abstract stuff, maybe operating clouds with it, that would be quite interesting, scanning through little audio files and, changing the texture, the different parameters in something like clouds. Yeah, that would be cool. Of course, essentially what I'm doing, I could be doing by twiddling knobs, but just this physical function has, I think it does feel quite good in terms of like an instrument. It feels like you could, I don't know how sturdy it is, but it definitely feels like a real instrument. It doesn't, as opposed to a toy. It does feel really quite nicely made. Yeah, it does say, however, in the manual that the joystick, though, isn't covered by the warranty, as it is a kind of like a what is it, like a perishable part, or I guess like a crossfader on a DJ mixer. However, let's move on. So we've got that stuff going on from elements. Right, so I'm going to change things around now. I'm going to map, I'm going to go and patch the, let's get into these things down here, these little modules from Dreadbox. They're called Chromatic. We looked at those a couple of weeks ago. There's 2 brand new models. This one, which I just noticed is in upside down. I'm going to turn. It's white text on yellow is my excuse. Using Nurley's. Honestly, Nurley's. I go on about them all the time. These little things. But yeah, Befaco, Nurley's. These little screws. My goodness, you're taking things in and out all the time in this business, this Eurorack business. Well, I certainly am, and it is kind of fun. It is kind of like a cool part of it. I have been really quite enjoying it. I have to be honest. I thought I would, and I really am. And my goodness, I've been going on these little jams where I have been having the time of my life doing it. And I don't know yet if what I'm making has any value more than the value that it's giving me. And that is enough, if I'm honest, and should be for everybody. If anyone likes what you do, that's an entire bonus. It should be for you, first and foremost. Everything can follow that. Like pleasure. Like a weird, deep pleasure. Oh my God, this thing is influencing tonight's show. No, it is a joyful thing, and I think in part it's the journey of this stuff. You kind of, I think a lot of people probably don't quite know what they're doing. They know what they're doing in principle, but then the magic starts happening when you start kind of just being a bit less thinky and a bit more gung-ho, you know. And in fact, I did that the other day. Perhaps I should recreate it. Well, no, that's a digression. But, you know, just taking an LFO output and then putting the output into the audio input of a filter that's a resonant filter, and take the output of that out as the LFO, and seeing how that resonant filter actually affects the LFO. Answer, it affected the LFO in a really mad way, in quite a pleasing way, but it starts doing things, just like stuff starts happening that I couldn't necessarily have predicted. However, you know, you twist a few knobs until it starts to sound sort of right, whatever that is. And it's like, I don't quite know why it's doing that, but I like it. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to pull, okay, thank you, Elements. Elements has done its piece for the night, and we're going to move downstairs now. The absolutely ridiculously keen-eyed viewers out there may have noticed that the spring reverb, which was previously in this rack, has migrated down to this layer. And the reason for that is, I came up here the other day and this stuff was powered on, but actually the speakers weren't on. And I could hear this noise that sounded like a bit of background noise, as though the speakers were on. But the speakers weren't even on, but there was this kind of background hum going on. Oh, what was it? When I disconnected the Elements, the hum went away. And it's like, okay, Elements, big digital module. But also it's a clone, so it made me worry a little bit. But actually, I don't think it was Elements. I think it's more... But what the thing that was causing the problem was the spring reverb. And of course, you've got a big spring with all of that that's just sitting there waiting just to kind of suck up any kind of electrical interference. I don't know quite why. However, moving it down into this malarkey, no noise. Was it a dynamo hum? Dynamo hum. Hey, speaking of Zapper, Alex Winter, him of Bill and Ted, has just made a new film about Frank Zappa. It's simply called Zappa, and I haven't watched it yet. Although I did manage to ask him a question about it a few years ago. He was, I think it's taken 5 years to make this film about Frank Zappa. I'm sure most of you know Frank Zappa. If you don't, or if you've avoided him, or if you hate him, which I know many people do, I reckon this documentary is still going to be worth watching, because there is nobody like him, and his career really, irrespective of whether you like his music or not, his career is just so utterly mind-bogglingly bonkers that this new film, Zappa, proves to be, hopefully, early reports say it's fantastic. Shaky Booty seems appropriate for tonight. That is a very rude album, actually, isn't it? Yes. It's a good one. Right, let's do it. Let's patch up something. So I think I'm going to try some really bog standard stuff as a kind of starting point. Will these reach? Just about. Okay. Let's take. This is the keyboard out of the Mini Brute, and I'll put it into. Let's put it into the Antidote. Yeah, why not? Antidote is this green one right over here, and that is one of the new ones. So these new ones, yeah, they only came out. Yeah, they came out the day my show, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. These Dreadbox modules are mega affordable. They really are. They are around the £80 each mark. Some a little bit more expensive, some a bit less. And do you know, I'm absolutely a beginner, of course. I've kind of got loads of modules all of a sudden, but I still would consider myself a beginner. Let's give my camera a little turn my camera back on. There we go. There it is. Yeah. I still consider myself a beginner. Absolutely. And will be for a few years yet. But I think that these modules would be absolutely phenomenal starting point. Because you could get a whole system within this range, and they designed to work with each other, I guess. There's a lot of patchability, and and they sound great. Dreadbox always sounds good. There's something special about the sound of Dreadbox stuff. My first Dreadbox synth was an Erebus of version 2. It's behind me. Probably still my favourite synth of all the synths that I've ever had in many ways. It just kind of it was just the most, here it is, beautiful 2 oscillator analog synth. Those oscillators, everybody, a lot of the kind of my older synth friends who've been around for some time, were thinking they're some of the most beautiful oscillators I'd ever heard. So Dreadbox, I think there's some great talent going on there. The musicality of Dreadbox stuff is just, huge fan. Now let's make something sound horrible with them. So what I'll do is I'm going to use the Eudaimonia, which is like a little mixer filter. And I'm going to use that. There's a VCA on that. So I'll use that. I'll send my gate output of my... Oh, I don't need to with the Carper Strong. Actually, I'm going to come back to the Carper Strong one. I'll just use Hysteria for now. Hysteria is just an analog oscillator. I'll do that for now. And I'll come... Yeah, I'll put the gate into Eudaimonia. sorry, I'm going to put the gate. I'm being an idiot. Ataxia. Ataxia is our modulator. So we're going into that. We'll use that as an envelope that is then controlling the VCA. Okay. Cool. Let's just patch that across. Yeah, so this eudaimonia, it's got 3 channels on there. And it's got, so you can use it as like 3 into 1. So let's come out of that one. But for now, I won't put it into any effects for now, or should I? Yes, let's do it. I'll put it into the effects, but I'll just bring the effects out. So I'm bringing it into the nostalgia delay. Let's input. One day I'll patch things kind of correctly. Okay, and that's going to go into input 1 there. Okay, and there it is. There's our sound. Great. In fact, why have we got that sound? Because... Oops, take this one out. Aha! That sound is coming from somewhere else. Yeah, that was coming out of the elements. All right. No, it wasn't. That was coming from here. What is going on? Oh, nostalgia. Feedback was up. I'm just checking out messages. Hey, nice to see so many of you out there. Sorry, let me get my skates on. I'm taking way too long doing this. Right, okay. Right, so I'm sending out gate here. Gate. Oops, keyboard. Put it the wrong way around. Keyboard into there, trigger into there. That's better. It's probably so easy to see all of this from your perspective. Right. Okay. Gate. My gate's coming into here. Yes. They are sending out. Yes. And I'm going to turn that into a ADSR. Yeah. Let's just make it an organ envelope. Let's turn it up. Yeah. That's behaving into here. Signal up, out. We're coming into here. We're going to mix. We're coming out. Yeah, that should be good. Yes! Hurrah! a little victory there. Okay. Yeah, Hysteria's got some pretty cool functions. Yeah, this quantize, sort of pitch quantizes it into chromatics. Let's make that. Make it move. Let's make it move through those quantized notes. I think that's quite a cool starting place. Moving X that way. Yeah. Too short. Better. Let's come. So we're coming X that way. And go into. I could change it like octaves. That's quite cool. So as a play. Okay, that'll do for a start. That's really nice. And I'll make my Y do my pitches. My pitches. Yeah, my pitches. Oh, wrong. Sorry, what am I doing there? take Quantizer off, I can do like more like ceremony stuff. It's just as hard to play. Yeah, interesting. So, because it's changing octave. Interesting. Smack my pitch up. Smack my pitch up. Just checking chat room. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. I love this chat room. It's so awesome. It's such a good bunch. Okay. Hey, now, next door is a disting, and a disting has got a pitch quantizer that it just happens to be tuned into, number A6. That means I could probably, I think, when I do my little pitch, let's just quantize it. It makes sense to an octave. Let's swap them around. So octaves will be on the up. Oh yeah, it makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Now why is it's pitching up? Yeah. So if I could pitch quantize that into a scale, then I could do some kind of fast, kind of crazy stuff and make it play tunes. Instant John Otway. Oh, that is a great comment. John Otway is gosh, he's been performing since the 1970s. British performer. What was his hit? Oh god, he had a hit with Willie Barrett, but he had these two guitars, electric guitars, that were kind of fastened together with a hinge. And so they had one neck coming out one way and one neck coming out the other way, and then he could kind of like fold the guitars in, and then he'd pull them back, and they would kind of bang into each other. And he's a crazy guy, John Otway. My goodness, I saw him playing in Llantrisant Festival, and he climbs up the kind of PA tower. He jumps. He like headbutts microphones. I think there was some story that he goes through something like 100 microphones a year, and poof, he was like headbutting mics. He was bleeding like crazy, but he's still performing. Yeah. Just checking the chat room. Okay, right. Let me keep on track. Let's see what happens if we can get this working now. So I'm guessing which way round. Yeah. So as it comes out. Yeah. Okay. Green. Let's pop that one into the output. I don't know if this will work. I'm still a bit stupid and keep missing things, so it might not be. Let's have a look. No, I think A6. Let's have a look. I can change scales here. Harmonic minor. Okay, let's leave it on a harmonic minor. This is a strength attenuator. Okay, so that's not doing what I was expecting it to do. What would I be doing wrong? So I've got the CV coming out. X is coming out. It's coming into input X on a distinct coming out of A, set to A6. Where should I put the attenuator? Well, I guess this is where I'm trying to look at the chat room, which is back here. Well, if I can't get that to work, I'll do something else. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You see, sometimes I go like, yes, that makes sense, and I plug things in and it works. And sometimes I think, yes, that makes sense. I plug it in and it doesn't work. And I kind of think, oh, I thought I'd taken a little step forward, you know. So then you have to scurry back to where you were and go, okay, what's going on? Okay. Well, I'll just take that out for now then. Okay. Filter control. That's a given, isn't it? Let's try filter. So let's move that one over. Actually, filter. Well, we've tried filter and resonance. Classic. Why not? Okay. Filter. Oh, I don't think I can change the resonance on the eudaimonia, but I can on the Sea Devils. So I'll use the Sea Devils for the filter. Sea Devils filter. This is the Suit and Tie Guy, STG Labs Sea Devils filter that I was talking quite a bit about in my earlier shows. But it's just a beautiful filter. It's based on an EMS design, I believe. Not a VCS3. I thought it was a VCS3 filter. Apparently it's not. Apparently it is similar. But I don't know enough about these things to know what's different. All I know is it sounds lovely. Okay. Oops. Not signal input, frequency input. Yeah, X for frequency, and then we'll have X for frequency and resonance for Y. Makes sense. Y and then res input. Fab. Let's just route our sound through that filter now. Here we go. Out of here. In, out, in. Okay. Whew, right. Oh yeah, nice. Make sure you go get cables out of the way. That's annoying. Ah yeah, I need to do my offsets. Lovely filter. Make sure I'm just going to go to a sawtooth on the hysteria for as much harmonics. mean, that's the thing, I guess. This is what I was trying to sort of ascertain, really. Just how it feels in terms of the control. And I have to say, I mean, this is where it being a big old knob is useful. Don't say big old knobs have not got any use. Okay, so yeah. Actually, the thing it reminds me most of is a touche. I don't think you would get this instead of a touche, or a touche instead of this, but well, maybe you would, but they're so different from each other as well. It's only similar in that it's so physical. I've got a touche just out of shot here. Let's see if I can move this camera a little tiny bit there. Just, oh no, that light's in the way. Don't worry, but we will be doing that. I'll be doing that video. But the touche I've just got to my left, just to the left of this one. So, yeah. Yeah, it feels. I'm getting a bit of distortion there. Yeah, it feels really kind of precise in a pleasing musical way. You're upset that the touche didn't come with a turtle shell option. I like it. I'm now disappointed it hasn't come in a turtle shell option either. I mean, that is one of the cool things with the touche. Oh, let's just put a little touche preview while we're talking about the touche. There it is. You know. So some similarities. You've got four CV outputs on this model of the touche, and that's what we'll be seeing in the video that I'm making. So there's some similarities, but I typically I've got the touche to my left, and as I play with my right hand, then my left hand is on the touche for adding performance. So kind of similar. Yeah. It's definitely a musical it's a musical instrument. I think it feels pleasing to use in that kind of musical expressivity sense. Okay, but let's get a little bit more interesting. So as I mentioned, as we increase in one direction, we can send an inverted signal in the other direction. So in the case of this, people keep going, just try things. Don't worry too much, just try it. So I'm going to take the Y output, opposite output, and I'm going to put it into the amount input on the filter. So I'm not quite sure what it'll do. Take it out. interesting. Okay. I'm going to swap actually amount and resonance around. I say resonance in the Sea Devil's language. It calls it response. Now I think that is an EMS-ism. An EMS-ism. So I think this is as with all of this stuff, a bit of trial and error. Should mention this is literally been in my hands for a couple of hours. It really has just beamed into my world. Definitely that. I'm sorry if this is getting a bit pornographic. Yeah. Okay, let's keep patching bits of it in. So let's get the rotation thing now. So this axis, the Z axis. Yeah, mix in. Let's see what happens if we put that into the mix in. Don't know if this will do anything. I've not tried plugging into the mix. Oh, I'm not sure. Is that? Oh no, that's not. No, I don't think that's right. But I'm going to plug it in anyway. No, let's make it do something more interesting. Well, I mean, CV control over the delay time is always really good fun. Let's see what happens. Let's bring some delay in first. Good feedback. I don't think that's the best use of that. Let's find somewhere else to. Let's do something else. Not a lot you can modulate on that one. Let's bring it somewhere else. Oh, this could be interesting. Yeah, this is a good idea. This is I've plugged the eudaimonia, this Dreadbox, the blue one, the little mixer, the 3-in mixer into a low-pass filter, has also got a high-pass input, a high-pass filter as well that can be simultaneous. It's not resonant though, but could be quite nice as I twist the. Let's turn the offset of that up as well. Yeah. Need to kind of get the. Yeah, you know, it is nice having all of that. of that control in the single joystick. Just I'm not. Yeah, the fact that that bit springs back as well means that, you know, it really is a momentary thing. You know, if you find a part that a place that you like of it, it's quite hard to actually recreate it with without it. Do something a bit different. I think we'll mess with the quadrants next. So it's a different approach. I need to think a little bit about what would be the best way to exploit that. But certainly enjoying having that control. It feels nice. There's enough resistance in the rotation. I mean, the springing feels quite strong. You know, you need to definitely, hold it with a certain amount of force. You can feel it resisting you all the time, which kind of feels good, Okay, all right, cool. Oh, the camera's gone. Yeah, let's bring the camera back on. There we go. Camera, thank you. I'm getting rid of these cameras soon. I will have cameras that don't switch off. Wow, time is flying. Hope this is all right for you guys. Let me have a look at the chat room. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask, or suggestions about what to do. I'm gonna pull these cables out, and I'm gonna think about now the quadrant approach. So this is slightly different. Oh, I know what would be really cool. I've got this Doepfer 4-channel mixer, and each of the channels can be CV controlled. So what you could do is you could set this up like a vector synthesizer, like the SY77 was it, or some of those Yamaha synths, and the Wave Station, of course. The vector part merely putting 4 presets into each, and then using the joystick to kind of go between them, or a little bit like that. But I could definitely do something like that. I think that makes sense, having those controlling the mixer channels. Okay, so I just have to change the camera a little bit, but I think let's just zoom this out a little bit. Oh, I tell you what I'll do first, though. I think you've had a good enough look at that that joystick, haven't you? I think it's because it was dark. You can you can see it enough. All right, let's just going to refocus this camera, folks. Just bear with me a minute, just while I get it so we can see this mixer. Yeah, let's just do it like that for now. So this is the mixer in question, and we've got quite a few channels coming into it already. So this could be quite interesting. Let's see what we've got coming in. Actually, let's just get a bunch of sounds going on, and then that will make this make sense. Okay, so first thing then, one of the sets of outputs is coming out of the Morphogene. I've just unplugged everything, haven't I? Wow. And then another of the outputs is coming out of the Disting EX. Is this too much Is this too much head work to patch now? It might be. Do you know what? I'm gonna back out of that one. I'm just realizing I'm making something a bit too difficult for me to try and do. Let me come back to the Dreadbox ones. There's much more we can do with this now. Okay. I know what I'll do. This yellow one, actually, because it's new, it could do with a little bit more. It could do with a little bit more time in the limelight. And everybody loves a phaser, don't they? Everyone I know loves a phaser. Unless you've been fibbing to me. Nah, I see. Everyone loves a phaser. Phaser. Yeah. It's a nice phaser in the Radical Technologies effects, actually. I've just been playing around with and thinking, oh, that's good. But the thing about this particular phaser, though, is it gives us quite a lot of control we can do over it. Nice. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little sequence on the Mini Brute 2, just so we can have those notes playing round and round. And I think that'll be nice for the phaser. We can have a little bit more phaser action. I'll do it with an arpeggiator. Let's get rocking on an arp. Okay, right, where was I? Sound, where was the sound coming out? Here, into here, that's coming, that's good, that should be good. Take these out of here. Delay, inputs. Oh yes, that's right. Just some pulling everything out a minute just to get us back to a basic sound, so we can set this up. Bear with me, talk amongst yourselves for a moment, or put the kettle on, or go to the toilet. Okay, we'll get some sound up in a moment, I'm sure. Filter is VCA. Great. All these different waveforms are lovely on this. The Dreadbox Hysteria. Okay. Actually, that octave shifting was successful from this, so I think I'm going to keep. No. I'll come back to that. I'll repatch that, but we'll just get some phaser action going on using the quadrants idea. Okay. So let's just patch in the. Let's give an interesting. Or even. Right. Just for fun, let's listen to the filter. Let's make this really sawtoothy. Get some resonance in. Oh, that's not resonance. That's bringing the high pass in. That's the thing with this eudaimonia. It goes low pass, high pass, resonance, and I think a lot of people's muscle memory of having resonance right next door to cut off take a long time to. Okay, but just getting a sound, just to hear a bit of the sound of this filter, just because it is really nice. As I say, low pass is resonant, but the high pass isn't. But okay. Okay, let's now take that output and patch it through the phaser. Okay. I'm just going to knock the delay out for now, although we definitely want to have the delay back on when the phaser... Okay. Okay, so these different controls we've got then. We've got feedback. We've got manual, which is like in a positive or minus rate, phaser rate, and then level. It goes pretty fast. And then the amount of LFO can be controlled by the level. It's a very expressive phaser, isn't it? Okay, but we're not here for this. We're here for this. So let's get that patched in then. Okay. So I'll just stop it for now. Just turn it off there for a minute while I patch it in. Okay. So quadrants. Let's just do it with the quadrants instead. So we've got 4 outputs, and actually, what have we got? We've got CV, CV, CV. We've got three inputs that we can modulate. Okay, so quadrant 2, which is the upper left, is going to be affecting the feedback. Quadrant 1, upper right, is going to be doing the manual, which is the one that is a bipolar control. So let me just do that right then. So I take the offset off the first one. Off the second. Take the offset off of manual, and then put the offset all the way 100%. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And then let's put one more in. Oh, we'll put another 2 in. I'll figure out what else to map. Let me just grab some cables. Q3, bottom left, is going to then control rate. And then finally, Q4, is going to control octave on the hysteria. Okay, cool. Let's play that and see what happens. Yep. Right, nothing. Nope. Why no sound? What did I plug in here? Oh yeah, I turned it down, didn't I? Okay. I can hear some nice phaser reaction there. Let's have a look now. The octave there. This is going to be right down here. Yeah, okay. I can increase. Yeah. Okay, now Gotta remember, I'm turning it down on the mixer. That's where I'm turning it down. There. We gotta send the gate, the little button somewhere. Now, what could that do? It could be a trigger. Oh, I know what it could do. Yeah. Holy moly, this sounds like fun. What this is going to do is so the ataxia is the dual modulator in the chromatic range. So if the gate fires a trigger, and when that trigger, it receives a trigger, it'll send an envelope. So we can send that envelope to modulate some other parameter. So, pew. So let's have a think about this. I mean, there's definitely like a kind of pow effect of this, like, you know, aim, fire, pew. So I'm just going to think what that could mean. I'm just checking in with the chat room a moment. Love to know how it sounds a couple of octaves lower. Sure, let's do that. Okay. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to patch. I want my so gate out is going to fire. Is going to trigger modulator 1, and I'm going to set modulator 1 to be a mod envelope. Yeah, let's just do that then. Now, so out and filter. Yeah, let's do it on the filter for now. So it'll be like, it'll trigger. Oh, this can loop as well, actually, can't it? So let's just get something playing. Let's move up an octave. Okay. Take the K off. Trigger. Pushing, oops, so you can see. I'm setting a trigger. Okay, that's working, but it's fire multiple envelopes. These envelopes. I know, I can make them loop by making them an LFO. Hang on. Not really succeeding really well here. Okay, it's working, but okay. All right. This could be better. Oh, do you know what? It is quite a pleasing thing to do, and the fact that I can go. Let's give it a little. Okay, interesting. Would love to hear more of the antidote when you get a chance. You seem to be the only one in a wild. Okay, let's do that next then. Why not? Okay. So the antidote is this green one, and it's the Carplus Strong Strings, it's called. Right, and then we'll see what fun we can have with the joystick with it. Okay, I'll just patch straight across then. So this... Oh, it's too short! It's too short! Oops, sorry. Let's just pan that over a little bit. Oh, look. It's like... Okay, let's take that out for now. Yes. Okay, keyboard into the trigger in. Let's take the... I'm just going to grab some more long cables. Hope everyone is okay and having... Yeah, it does twist. It does twist. There's the answer in the question there. So we'll see what we can set the twist up to do. Oh, sorry, put that into pitch. Yeah, so control has got pitch input, gate input, and trigger input. So I'm not quite sure what the difference between trigger and gate is at the moment. So if anyone's got any ideas what that might mean, what the difference is. Why would trigger be different from gate? Is trigger... Gate, I know, would be for as long as the gate is on for. There's a flaw in my system here. The distances are just a bit too far for my cables. Oh, we can just do it this way around. All right, yeah, they just about reach. Okay. Where's that noise coming from? Just gonna mute out some things in here. Some clicky things going on. Okay. Clicky no more. Right, okay, let's get back to... So, yeah, so we're going to listen to the antidote, and then we're going to try the 3D joystick with the antidote. Trigger is only a very short gate. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's just like... so I'm not quite sure why you'd want to do that differently. Okay. Right, so pitch. Oh, let's get some audio out. That would help. Add that into the mixer. I'm gonna yank out the cables for this, out the phaser, and then I'm going to patch it in to the antidote. But before we do that, we're just going to get the antidote working so we can hear it. I'm still just, you know, figuring it out, the antidote. I haven't played around with it an awful lot, to be honest. However, it is very cool. Okay, sound out, out. Patch out the effects for now. In and switch it on. Okay, we've got Carplus Strong. Okay. Okay, I mean, so the principle, as much as I can understand with this, is there's a little tiny burst. I guess with the trigger, there's a tiny burst of noise, and that tiny burst of noise goes into a delay, like a really short delay. Now, let's see. So, right, so it's playing an arpeggiator, and let's try and get it to make some nice sounds. What am I doing wrong? Pitch, yes, that's good. Gate, Might try gating to trigger that. Oh, okay. So the colour, which changes how much frequency is in that little noise burst at the beginning, if it's all the way off, clearly doesn't let much through. I'm sorry, this is a rubbish angle for you guys there. It's, I don't know if I can zoom in a little bit more. Well, that's about as good as we're going to get, I think. We can get that to focus. Focus on me. Okay. But you can hear now we've increased this. There's a lot more action going on in the sound. So I guess the feedback control has a huge, well, obviously has a huge effect. Again, I apologise to Yanis, and there was a dreadbox if I don't show this off in its best light. I think it probably... I'm not sure what I'm not sure what to get nice sounds with this thing, but I like it. So we're going to try... We're going to bring the joystick in anyway. Right. Isn't feedback pitch? You've got a tune control, which I guess is the rate of that really small delay. Okay. This is lovely, isn't it? Okay. Tried it with the quadrant out. Okay. Ramp up the overlap. Oh, God, I'm sorry about the musical quality of this. Slow things down. See if I can make something nicer sounding. Very much trial and error, this. Mostly error. I'm gonna just patch this across to the axis. Okay. Not sure. So I think I'm going to have to spend quite a bit of time just trying to work out what's the best way to use this. I'm going to finish. I think now. I think because I think we've been up for a while, and I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit here. I need to learn more about how to use it. I'm imagining I think where it would be really cool is controlling quantized notes. So this is, I'm going to look into this because it ties in with something else that I'm doing at the moment. So if when you move the joystick around, you could restrict the amount of notes that are playing and then maybe add more notes, and it's all to do with how many notes are sounding, and maybe when you twist it you can change the octaves or something. Yeah, something like that. It's almost like an arpeggiator controller, or I don't know. I've got ideas, so I'll come back to it. I think for now though, I think I'm going to call it a night, because I've been on this for a while. But also next Wednesday, as in the day after tomorrow, Wednesday, the Gaz Williams show at 8 p.m. I have got a very esteemed guest joining me for the show. Mr. Ian Boddy will be joining me, and if all things go to plan, we'll have some live music on the show as well. Now, Ian Boddy, I'm sure many of you will know, is one of Britain's most esteemed and respected electronic artists. Has been releasing music now for 30 years. Electronic music. Has had a label for quite some time. I think that label started in the early 90s. Focusing on electronic music. And Ian, well, apart from being an absolute top chap, he is going to come and basically give us a whole load of wisdom. So please tune in for the show on Wednesday, 8 p.m. GMT. And that's going to be good. So fingers crossed we'll have some live music. But if not, the chat is certainly going to still be worthwhile. So that's about it for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed me having a little look at this thing as I'm just exploring this thing and learning how I can use it. And I will return to it in future episodes too, once I've found some better uses of it. But yes, please consider subscribing and click the little like thing there. I keep getting told to say this, even though I don't want to say it. Or not want to say it, but it's not occurring to me to say it, other than I've been told to ask you. So yes, I would appreciate that. Thank you ever so much. And I hope everyone is well and will have a terrific week. Yeah, and hopefully see you on Wednesday. But anyway, I've been Gaz Williams, and this is my continuing adventures in Eurorack. Bye bye.